Hi, Steve Dragon, your personal wellness consultant. For this day's video, there were a couple of things I wanted to talk about today. I almost said concentrating. Last night, my son Dallin, 17-year-old, was in an accident in Ogden. He, I think, totaled the van. It was snowing up there. He ran a red light, didn't really have anything to do with the snow, and actually kind of hit the front end of another car that was coming across the intersection, which we found out later happened to contain a drunk driver. It was interesting how things came down that way. On the way home, I mentioned to Dallin, the thought occurred to me, and I mentioned it to Dallin, that there was a possibility, it seemed to me, that he may have saved somebody's life. Dallin may have saved somebody's life by hitting that guy. He being intoxicated. Dallin said then, everything happens for a reason. We kind of say that frequently at our house. My wife says it quite a bit too. Dallin is recognizing that, I think, which is, of course, the reason he said that. It reminded me how often things like that happen. Probably we don't recognize it as frequently as it happens, but the economy of the Lord is what I've heard it called, where something will happen in our lives, and in some way it affects other people. Dallin was in a place where we would not have expected him to be. He normally comes home a different route from the gym, which is where he was last night. So he was in a different place than he normally would have been. And he was looking, because he was lost, for the addresses on the street signs, which caused him to kind of ignore the colors of the lights, which is why he went through the red light intersection. And obviously, the other driver, being intoxicated, coming through at that particular time. I like to think that Dallin saved somebody's life last night because he stopped that driver. That driver, by the way, was arrested on the spot when the police got there. And, of course, Dallin got a ticket. The point was the economy of the Lord. I think that's cool. It's just really interesting, cool for me to think about. I was telling somebody at work about this today, and actually I emailed him because he's in Houston. I'm in Salt Lake. But I mentioned the incident, and at the end of what I was telling him, I said, teenagers, gotta love them. And he wrote back and said, yeah, I'm just glad I've got just little ones with me right now. I'm going to enjoy them all I can while they're young. That made me think about how little so many of us really enjoy them when they're young, and then they get old. And sometimes they're a little less than enjoyable. We have 7 grandchildren right now. One was born, like a month ago, I think, 5 weeks. Stop saying that. It has been really, really cool to have them come over. They come over frequently. To hold Carson, that's his name, a tiny newborn baby. I honestly don't remember enjoying my own children so much when they were younger. It was kind of just took them for granted, I think. I wasn't really good with children. It was a little uncomfortable for me, maybe. I wasn't a nurturer. I've found out for various reasons in my life. But sometimes I regret not enjoying my children so much when they were younger. I was very stern. I've mentioned before that I was a perfectionist. I am a perfectionist. You can imagine what that's like. I know that my growing up with my mom very often wasn't very pleasant because I could never do things right. I imagine my kids frequently have felt that way. And I'm grateful to now have grandchildren that I really can enjoy. So my advice is enjoy your children, because they are going to grow up and be teenagers who like to total vehicles. That happens. Actually, I did that once when I was, 18. It was my vehicle. Actually, I had paid for that one. But it has happened to me. And also, somebody else at work today said, what goes around comes around. Well, my insurance was canceled when I was younger. And at that point, my dad made me pay for my own insurance. So, yes, it happens. Enjoy your children. And maybe when they get to be teenagers, you'll enjoy them then too. Thanks for watching. I appreciate the opportunity. This is Steve Dragon, your personal wellness consultant. Have a good evening. Take care.